Well, we are back once again here on the Lotus SMP. As you can see, we have gotten a lot of work done over the holidays, and it has been about a week or so since we've had our last stream here in this world, so I've definitely been getting creative, as you can tell, and today's stream is going to be a very special stream. We have been about 6 months here on the Lotus SMP, and we have a lot to show off, not only just from myself, but from other people too. So today we are going to be kind of recording a video while also hanging out on live stream as we show everything that we've been doing here on the Lotus SMP. So I do hope that you're excited for that. It feels good to be back with you all once again, and consider leaving a like on stream if you're down for that adventure tonight. And as you can see here, we are starting in a much different looking Kingdom of Solith. I love how everything is coming together, and we still have a bit more work that I do want to get done. However, this is looking exactly how I want it to be, except for maybe a little bit of waxing that we need to do on the copper lightning rods right here. And we have 2 new houses, as you can tell. So we'll get into them when we officially start the tour, but I do think that before we do that, we're gonna head over to our starter base and we'll get some more rockets. We happen to have a sheep that has come out of here nowhere. Never seen a sheep in this, or any animals in this area actually, since I've cleared everything out, so it's a good feeling to see one. Then we can head into our shulker box right here, and I think that we're going to start the tour off from our starter area in the islands that we have over here. It seems like a nice way to start everything off here, and the video is going to be pretty much without that much cinematics. I think we'll do a full cinematic world tour at the end of Lotus. Maybe even more. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I put on the replay mod cinematic. Might as well give myself the opportunity to do so, right? And Vampire, it is good to see you, my man. It sounds like you're off to work right now, so I do hope that you happen to have a good work day. And we were talking earlier today, right before my flight. Well, I pretty much just got back home, and here we are already. Vampire and I were talking about doing a podcast episode, which is something I would be super down for doing, so definitely look forward to that in the future too. I'm super excited about it. And I'm sure that we'll discuss more and more. Let's see, where do we want to have our starting look? Maybe here? So that we can start the video officially. And so once again, this is kind of going to be, we're going to hang out on stream, but a lot of this is going to be kind of like the recorded segment for an upcoming world tour. So I will respond to your comments and questions and make that a part of the video. So I hope that you're excited for that. Hey, it was a good trip. It was definitely a good trip. I will kind of elaborate a little bit more on it after we kind of get into our introduction here. But the flight went well, and it feels good to be back home. Back in action. It feels good to be back here. I do also think, actually, very quickly, it seems like my thumbnail has cropped a little bit weirdly, so I do think that I'm going to change it very quick before we actually start the live stream for tonight. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to get into it. Okay, we're just hanging out tonight. I have been playing on this Minecraft SMP called the Lotus SMP for the last 6 months and have been building so much in this beautiful world. And in today's episode, we are going to take a look at every single thing that I have built so far upon 6 months. And this episode, if you have watched for me before, is usually a bit more cinematic, so we'll probably get to sneak a couple of cinematics into this wonderful world tour. I hope that you're excited for it, but this is going to be a little bit more raw form and kind of laid back in its pace. We have so much to cover today, so this may be a longer video, so I hope that you're excited for it as we look at our beautiful first base, our fisherman's cottage right here. We really went all out on this build. It has a whole ton of diorite, and I love the roof line that we have right here, as you can see, with the granite kind of texture along with the brick. It really went really well, and I used B-dubs kind of scaffolding windows for the first time, and I really love how everything has come out upon the starter island that you'll see that we have here. It's quite a good looking island, and it's pretty much my first time ever doing custom trees. The field is supposed to be perfect in terms of its wheat, but we do happen to have a sheep that is roaming around here named Blippery, and they happen to eat the wheat from time to time, so that is all that we can really do. I love having him in the world, and it's a great little lore piece to everything, I would say. But you can see right here that this is a really wonderful looking area where we have tons of our clay pots right here, along with some ferns, just to add that extra detail and that extra greenery to the build. One of my favorite things about modern Minecraft nowadays is the fact that we have all of the leaves that can fall down from the bushes, as you'll see every once in a while as we continue to walk through this path. And these are B-dubs inspired trees right here. It's definitely something that I'll continue to improve on in the future, but for a first at bat, it's definitely not too shabby, and I think that it definitely looks good in shaders, which I'm using complementary reimagined shaders, by the way. And we kind of just have dedicated this place to be a bit of like a picnic grove where you can walk around. We have our quartz and diorite and polished diorite pathway right here, which I think is pretty unique, and we can continue along this way where we'll eventually meet our monorail, which is a massive build, and we'll continue to talk about that, but we just have a wonderful atmosphere as we continue back and forth along this spiraling path right here that I definitely spent a lot of time in the early game making in this world. That we have some hay bales along the sides as well, which will really stand out, I think. And I want to make sure that we have our replay mod cinematics on, and you'll see that we have some peonies over here and a couple of other bushes along the sides, really just to add that extra atmosphere. This place is so cozy and serene, and it's really one of my favorite places that we have in the whole world here, although we have some incredible builds, not just from me, but from tons of other YouTubers here on this creator-only SMP. So I say this is a good first look, as you can see, and it's just satisfying. Really solid first build that we have right here. Along with Qatar, it's good to see you, my man. Hope that you're doing well and are excited for New Year. And right now we are recording a kind of world tour, so I do hope that you are excited for that. Yes, there was kind of a bit of like aqueduct inspiration when it comes down to the monorail, honestly. Along with I'm seeing that I don't happen to have a bed for the night, so I do think that we're gonna have to go and make one over here. Hopefully, I think I have a bed over here. But yeah, there's definitely some aqueduct inspiration when it comes down to the making of the monorail. I want to build an actual aqueduct at some point in time. We just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. It's super on the to-do list, though. So we can come in here and we can craft ourselves an orange bed. And then I think we can pop back up here. This part of the world is not going to be a part of the world tour. I say let's head to sleep for the night first, though. No, Qatar, I don't know where Bruno is, unfortunately. We're going to have to get a new Bruno, and we'll dedicate... actually, that sounds fun. Those sorts of side quests are super fun to do in Minecraft. So we'll have a side quest, and we can get a new donkey named Bruno. Okay, but back to recording the next bit here. But once again, in the morning sun, you can see that we have our fisherman's cottage, and I say that why don't we make our way inside of it so that we can take a closer look. I do think that I need to find a more efficient way of getting over here. We're going to have to jump into the water, but the good thing is that you can actually get up here from the water, which is a very exciting thing. And so we can head up the ladder here, where we'll head into the inside, which is a very interesting looking interior. We have a couple of armor stands right here, which don't really happen to work, but then some TNT in the item frames, and we have all of our diamonds tools. This one called Geronimo Stilton. Apparently, we've held on to every single tool that we've used so far in the series, and we use them for a lot of decoration. You can see that over on the right here, we have one of our earliest maps from the game, which is an island that's right next to this area that we have right here. And then we just have some extra goodness with a item frame or a mob head, which is from one of the other players on the server named Gribbly Games, who's a wonderful creator and definitely worth taking a look at. But you can see that we have this floor that we have right here, and then we can actually head up the ladder where we have a second floor with some extra storage, and then a beautiful look at the islands that we have right here through the B-Dubs bamboo windows once again. And then over here you can see that we have another little storage interior where this is just makeshift, and I wanted to think about what would a fisherman kind of have and need. So we have some potion bottles and some string for the fishing rods and some light, and then some gold, and then just some plants. These are supposed to be food. And the idea that we have right here, and a shield just in case anyone actually ends up coming to intrude at some point in time. And I'm really happy with this entire area, and I love the outside of the build that we have here too. Exactly, yeah, Qatar. The mob head looks exactly like a little PC, and that's one of the reasons that I love it, as you can see right here. But this is his head. This is his character. He's a wonderful creator and inspires me in many ways too. And so we can actually head through this trapdoor, or this door that we have right here, where we'll get a new look at the rest of the island area. And you'll see that I've actually made this entire outerior kind of ledge area usable and livable. We have the outer bits right here, which this is a wonderful design of some new windows where we have some fences and some mud brick walls, and then some trapdoors behind it. From afar, it looks really good. And then we have just some pillar or balcony little bits with some stone pressure plates and some iron bars right here. And it continues along the outside. And then we have some extra levers right here just for that extra bit of, I don't know, kind of gray and life extra to the build, I guess you could say. And it continues all the way around where we have just the fisherman's sign. And I would love to have a name for the fisherman that happens to live here. So if you have any ideas, definitely consider leaving a comment below. But I say that, why don't we head back to the islands and we'll make our way on over to our monorail over here. Oh man, now that I'm actually getting into this, it feels good to be able to do a tour and kind of explain everything that I've done so far, and it's going to be fun to see how this continues to evolve. Maybe we'll do another one in 3 months, and then definitely one at the end of the season. We can make our way in this direction, and you'll see that we have a ladder that will head us on up to the top of our monorail. Now, I'm not surprised that I actually don't happen to have a minecart here. I usually am pretty bad about it when it comes down to it, but the idea behind all of this is that we would press the button right here, and then we would be able to take a very long trip on our monorail, which goes blocks and blocks and blocks. If we actually head into our map, you'll see that it heads all the way down here, all the way to the spawn area of our district right here. So it is one of the biggest builds that I've ever made, and it just keeps on going. But you'll notice that we actually happen to have a little build right here, and we'll fly on over to it so that we can talk about it a bit more. Ooh, what am I looking forward to the most in 2026? I'm going to answer that in a second. I'm just going to record the next little bit. Okay, I'm struggling to find the song that I want to. Feels good to be back streaming, to say. So we can fly on over here towards Serotonin Setup's house. Serotonin has been a wonderful friend and buddy and just supporter of the channel over the last couple months to a year or so. And so during a live stream, we ended up getting around to making them a cottage, and I love how it looks. One of my signature moves when it comes to building is using item frames with an item on the sides right below certain trapdoors to outline the outer pillars of a build just like this. And not only does it give that extra flair to the build, as you can see, but it just kind of signifies a little bit more about the build too. We used a whole ton of different blocks in a fun way. This is the one of 2 only builds that I've built without creative mode and just experimented freeform on a live stream building. And you can see here that we have a mixture of our spruce and our stripped oak, along with our oak planks and some jungle as well. And then we also happen to have some chiseled bookshelves over here, which I think looks really wonderful, along with a couple of azalea bushes right over here, kind of just outlining the rest of the build to give that homely and kind of colorful soothing vibe to the build that I was looking for. Hey, Qatar, thank you. Yeah, this is Freeform. And as the sun begins to set once again, we can also step outside right here, and you can see that it just has an impeccable view of the islands and the fisherman's cottage in the distance right along this pumpkin patch, which I put in myself just to add that extra touch to. But we can also head inside, and we have gotten around to making a neat little interior here too, with a couple of tables and some paintings, a couple of bookshelves and some cotted bookshelves, along with an enchanted golden sword that I ended up finding from, I think, an underground ruin pretty early on. So I'm happy with it, and the lore behind this build is that Serotonin is the overseer of the fisherman's cottage, and he makes sure that the fisherman is safe and secure. And so thank you for providing that service to us. The kingdom definitely appreciates it. But we do also happen to have a build right over here, so I say that let's go and take a look at that guy too. And this one also happens to have a story behind it. Lenny's cottage over here. And Mari, it is good to see you. Oh man, it's such a good feeling to be back live streaming once again. And Mari, we are doing a world tour of everything that not only I have built, but everyone else has built here on the server. That is kind of the game plan for tonight. So I am recording, so this will definitely be a part of the video. And as I was telling Qatar, I also want to embed your questions into the video. I think that would be fun. So I am going to very quickly, before I take a look at this cottage, answer Lenny's question, and we'll have that be part of the video too. Along with you guys are looking quite good with those golden badges, and thank you so much for all of the support over the months. Man, I can't wait to put Bruno back into the world too. Now this world tour is actually happening live on stream, and I also would love for you guys to get to know a bit more about me as a person and a Minecraft player. So as we continue to look at these builds, I'm going to answer a couple of the questions that we have tonight on stream. And the first one that we're going to be talking about comes in from Qatar, who happens to be a Slipper Plus channel member, and I appreciate all of the support from all over the months. And his question is, what are you looking forward to the most in 2026 as we arrive at Lenny's Lodge right here? Another kind of just freeform build that I'm so happy that I have in the world here. And one of the things that I'm most excited about the most about 2026 and the months and year to come is really continuing to hone the craft as a Minecraft content creator and player, as we don't want to get too close to that skeleton that we have over there. But I love making Minecraft videos, and I love providing knowledge and my expertise and experience of playing this game. And I've gotten a lot better at it over the years, and you know, I feel like I've grown so much as a content creator this year that I know it may seem kind of cheesy as saying that on YouTube, but I love doing this, and I just want to keep getting better at it and see what other builds I can make and see how I can tell the story in the best way possible and become a better commentator and, you know, a better producer and better Minecraft player at the end of the day. So I'm really excited about that, and I'd love to know what you are most excited about for 2026 as well. Yes, you guys do look so cool with the gold. I do have one channel member, Mecca, who has the 12-month diamond badge, and it looks so cool. But by far, yellow is flame. It is so like it contends. Like it's one of those things where if I was a channel member, I'd want to be able to choose whether or not I wanted to show the diamond and the yellow. I really do think it is very good. Also, I hope you guys are enjoying the world tour. I'm having a blast doing this so far. However, I do think that it may take us an hour or two to do so. Now, I really do love how this build ended up coming out. We used a bunch more of our barrels kind of as like an outside exterior block to be used. We actually have the backside of a barrel right here, and we have a mixture of our stripped oak logs too. I was just trying to use the blocks that I happen to have on hand, and so you'll see that we have our jungle spruce, or jungle signs, along with some jungle buttons, just making it a little bit different. And then on the roof, I always wanted to try to add moss and leaves into a roof design, and it's not the perfect thing in the world, but I do like how it ended up coming out. Along with, we definitely had some more granite and some more of our bricks to use. So we used those on the inner side of the roof, and then the outer lining, as you can see, is just made out of oak, along with more of the barrels that we have on the side right here. And then we have even more item frames with more fun items. And if you ever have a whole ton of items that you're not really using that much, it's really fun to do that. And then also right here, we also have kind of just a feather. I should probably do these /invis to make that even more fun looking, but I do like the extra little things that we have right here. And then one really subtle thing that you would not notice unless I actually showed it to you is that we have a path that's coming out little bit by little bit over in this direction. And I don't want to show you all of it, but there happens to be some bounty and some treasure over here, or when you happen to come into the world tour. But that's all I'm going to say. There's a little secret, as you can kind of see through the pathway right here, and I like that aspect of it. And then we have another little on-looking area of our ladder that you can see right here. So we can pop back up here, and then you'll notice that we have a miniature little dock area outside here, just so that we could dock a boat if we wanted to, and that it makes the area much more expansive as we continue on our monorail over towards the main kingdom that we have in this world right over here called Solith. Ooh, Mari, your name is Romanian, or your name is Latin? I did not know that you're Romanian. That's cool. Yeah, I would love to travel to Romania. That sounds 10 out of 10. And so you can see over here, we are officially... And so you can see over here that we are officially reaching the main kingdom. I am incredibly happy. I am incredibly happy with how this whole area has been coming out so far, and we still have 6 months to work on it, so I'm excited to show you everything that we have here. Mari, that is such a good question. I'm going to answer that in a minute. And so, as we take a look at the official Kingdom of Solith at this point in time, you can see that the lands are very, very beautiful here. And I love the block palette that we're using. We have pale oak and diorite and quartz and all of the white blocks here, along with some iron and even a bit of pink touch to the builds, as you can see. I love it, love it, love it. It has so much more work that needs to get done on it, but it's a fantastic start that we have. I say that we can fly down on here, and you'll notice that we have different flower patches. Over here we have our sunflowers, and then we also happen to have a ton of different white flowers over here, along with some alliums and some lily of the valleys over there, along with, I love putting crop fields into the game, so we definitely have our fair share of our wheat crops here too. Okay, as we wait for the next day, so for me, I would love to travel back to Europe. Mari, as you know, I was in Europe over the summer, and as a teacher, I do have the teacher summer off, so I would love to be able to do that. However, I do think that I should probably take a year or a summer or so where I earn money, and I think investing that money would be a good thing. So it's kind of it's a give take. If I was able to find the right trip back to Europe, I would go back to Spain. Romania sounds awesome. I don't know if I'd want to go to Paris. I feel like I'd want to go to maybe Portugal as well. I'd want to go to Italy. I'd want to go to Scotland. I feel like Europe is definitely the next sort of trip that I would want to do. Although I have been to Asia before, and I would love to go back to India, or I'd love to go to Tibet. I'd love to go to Japan as well. What about for you guys? I'd love to know. All right, recording back on. Actually, I'm going to change the song too. Over in this area that we have right here, you can see that we have a sign that says Jordanology Campsite, because at some point in time, we're going to be making Jordan a campsite over in this direction that we have right here. Apparently, we have a spare bed that's just lying down right here, so I think that we can pick that up, but you'll see that we actually happen to have a path across the river right here. There's not too much to say about it yet. You'll have to stay tuned for the next world tour, because we have a lot more that we want to put over in this direction right here, but I love how this area looks. The corner of the monorail as it kind of crosses across the water here is something that you're going to notice is very, very unique about this area, along with the block palette. And you can see that I use my favorite path design that I pretty much use everywhere coming up, which is just some andesite and some stone bricks. And then when I want to have the path a bit more trodden, then you'll see that in other areas we'll have some cobblestone as well. But for the most part, I love this sort of texture palette that I have, and I think that it complements itself very well as we arrive upon the architect's cottage, which the lore behind this is that the architect is the person that is designing this entire city, which happens to be me, but the architect is supposed to be a personality. someone that is kind of pulling the strings from behind in order to return the kingdom or this area of the world back to the olden days, but in a new modern fashion. And you'll see that in this build that we have right here, we also have gotten around using the levers coming up on each of the corners, which adds a bit more slope to the corners, and it's a really good thing to use. Along with, we have a couple of garden beds right here with a pale oak sapling and lilac, and we have the same thing going over on the sides right here as window panes. We also happen to have some trapdoors on the sides, and we also have some pale oak with a fence and fence gate and trapdoor right here as a sort of window design, which I think looks really wonderful. Along with, we also have some white banners, which will be changing pretty soon. So we'll take a look at some of the banners that we've been working on within the last week or so. But if we head inside here, you'll also notice that we have a wonderful kind of storage area, apparently. Right here, we have all of our shulker mess, our shulker monster, but we also have some incredible relics from the olden days. At the beginning of the kingdom, and our only music disc in the game, along with our first ever pair of golden gear, along with our first ever pair of iron armor. And then from our Christmas event on the server together, I have a peppermint fish, and then I also have a peppermint right here. And these are custom mobs and items within the game from the other members of the server, which I think is really, really cool. And then you'll notice that all of these tools that we have on the wall, like even the stone shovels and that sort of thing, are the first ever stone tools that I ever used in the game, because I happen to hold on to everything. And then from another member on the server, Actual Pug, I have all of these enchanted iron bows, and then this is my enchanted diamond pickaxe that we have right here. And these are spare backup tools that I have because I'm one of those people that, as you can see, loves to put in farmland and happens to break tons and tons of hose. Oh, actually, I do want to mention on our server here, we have a couple of mini games where you can get different mob plushies of different characters or different people that make YouTube content. So right here, we have Squid and Beard Boy OG, and forgive me, I forget the name of this person, and then we have Etad over here, and then even more of Squid. And so I love that we have all of these relics in the world, and you'll see that that is definitely a common theme as we continue to take a look at the other builds that we have over here. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you guys are both in the military. Do you enjoy shouting at troops? Yeah, that could be definitely cathartic. Yeah, I feel like there's something fun about scaring the rookies. Alright, give me 1 second here. I do think that if I can, I don't know if I can. I can't, wait. I want to edit something very quickly about the stream. Okay, I can. Let's see. Oh, I can't. Okay, wait. Give me 1 second. Okay, I think I want to. I'm gonna make a quick thumbnail. Okay, there we go. Oh, what's your nickname in the military? That's such a good question. Oh, bummer. Okay. I just have a feeling I have such a bad thumbnail. I want to change it very quickly. Okay, I'm gonna do a very quick adjustment on the vibrance. Okay, I think that is going to be it. Export that guy. Okay, change the thumbnail. Okay, we're back. Oh, it's getting dark out. Okay, we have to be careful here. Oh, actually, Qatar, that's a good nickname. That's actually a good nickname. I kind of like that. The Turbinator. I know that any nickname definitely takes some time to grow into. I would say even the ones that I've had and even the ones that I've made for myself, like even Slip was something that I've grown into. And not everyone has a positive relationship with their nickname, but I do want to say from my perspective, I do like the Turbinator. Okay, we're gonna wait for the sun to rise a bit more, and then we'll get back into the recording. You have a new soldier who's Ukrainian, and his name is too long and hard to pronounce that everyone just calls him Ukraine. That's kind of brutal. We can now make our way down this path here towards our barn, which is a video that didn't really get a full episode out of it, although it is the third episode, I believe, of the series that we have, and I love the design. This is one of my favorite builds that I've ever made, Sure, you can see that we have tons and tons of different little accents with the chains with the pale oak saplings hanging down, and then we also have an unopened eye blossom down here in the garden bed, and then some fences where for the first time ever I actually ended up getting around to putting down some white candles to add some more of that verticality to the build. And you'll see that we have more of our quartz and our calcite and our diorite and polished diorite for the build, and then some more of our banners, and these guys will be changing once again as well. And then over here on the right we have a miniature little coal pile just in case it gets cold here in the kingdom and we need to have some charcoal for the furnaces is the idea behind it. And we still have not actually gotten around to putting anything in this build. I like that we have the pale oak, and we also have the crimson trapdoors here for that extra red accent, along with the pots on the ledges here. And it's a very quartz heavy build, so this was very expensive, but we can head inside and you can see that we still don't really have anything in the build yet, except for our diamond tools that again we've been using all over the place. So you can see that we have 2 more diamond tools over here, but we have to put an animal in here at some point in time, I would say, which brings us to my favorite thing that we have in the entire kingdom. Now, this wonderful pooch that we have here, her name is Marnie, and she is the dog that follows me from world to world here in Minecraft. She is an interdimensional being, I guess you could say, but I just love having her here with me, and she's a very important part of my Minecraft world and means more actually to me than I can actually admit. I love having her here, and I am sure that when I have a dog in the future, I will definitely be naming her Marnie too. But we can now make our way on over to our clock tower, where we have some cactus flowers, as you can see, just adding that extra bit of magenta and pink hue that really matches very well with the pale oak pink that you have, and then also the bit of pink that you can kind of get from our diorite, but you can kind of a little bit tell with the lantern casting off its red and yellow light that these textures really work very well together. And so I love that. And then a technique that, once again, I've been talking a lot about in the world tour is using levers, but even that with some chains here, we have to get to waxing these guys back down to this oxidation level right here. But the more you step back, it actually gives a bit more of that curvature and arches to the build. And I love the angles that we have here, so it's something that's definitely worth thinking about doing. But this officially is our clock tower, as you can maybe kind of tell right here. Oh, Qatar, I'm gonna answer that in 1 second. You can see that on the side, we've done the same, and then I also like that on each part of the bottom bit here we have some arches that just once again give these more rectangular builds that extra bit of life. And this build being so vertical, it's a really wonderful thing to have. It's a great contrast to these smaller builds that you can see all around us here. Now, when it comes to the interior, it really is nothing. I really do mean nothing. We just have some more shulkers for the next builds that we're going to be making here. And so I'll have to come around and make this even better looking at some point in time. But I am very happy to have this build in the world, and we'll have to make a couple more tower builds just like that. But we're going to make our way over to maybe my favorite build that we have built so far. And I built this past week. This is a very recent build. This is our library that we have here. I love how everyone thinks that military names should be badass, but they're all just silly. I think you're right. And my favorite fruit, it's in between an apple, because I eat an apple every single day, but I also eat a banana smoothie every single day too. So that one's kind of hard to really choose from, I would say. I would be 10%. I totally would be 10%. Oh, Qatar, that makes sense. I love mangoes too. That's a good choice. Now, this build, as you can see, officially has the brand new banners that we're going to be implementing into the world here, where we have a gray banner and then we have a bunch of different white accents on top of it in order to make this design. And I don't know, something about this build really just matches everything that we have going on here really, really well. You can see that we have 2 floors and we have a really cool looking slanted roof too that is accented with even more of our hanging pale oak signs, which are very expensive by the way, and then tons of shelves that lead down to some lanterns. And then we also have a couple of our decorated pots with our unopened eye blossom and then a lily of the valley right here. And then I do forget the name of the flower that we have right here, but you'll also notice in the background that we have tons and tons of candles that add that extra air of ambiance. And we can actually make our way back here, where I do want to mention very quickly that we have a stone cutter's little area here where we can chop down blocks. And then we can also have a custom little cave outlet right here that will spin its way around. I love how the sightline kind of happens to come together here, as you can see, as the sun begins to set and night falls upon the Kingdom of Solith. However, I do think that we can head on inside here. Where we can curve on inside to our miniature library. As you can see, we have a whole ton of bookshelves right here, and it's not a lot, but this kingdom is still happening to be developed, and we're still in the early stages, so I do think that this is enough reading for the people that we happen to have of the kingdom. You'll also notice that we have some lodestones down here, and then some pots with some saplings for that extra bit of greenery and color to the build. And this is quaint and cozy. And then a librarian, whoever that happens to be, is able to sleep in this bed like we will right now. No, Mari, I've never seen Lord of the Rings. Oh, I still haven't. Everyone says that I would love it. I feel like I spend all of my time making these videos. I did also want to mention that I love the balcony that we have here. We have our fence and fence gates along with some diorite or polished diorite pillars right here. And the overlook that we have this entire area is subject to a whole ton of change. There's going to be a lot more kingdom over in this direction by the next world tour, and I think that this is going to be a great little overlook area for the librarian. And once again, in a kind of game theory perspective, really brings you over towards the clock tower and the middle of the kingdom, as you can tell. However, we'll come across our most recent build, which is our homestead. And I'm not done with this build. I still have to fit it into the terrain and kind of just make it look more seamless, as you can tell. And we have some more things that we need to add on the sides of the railings that we have. But you'll see by the new banners that we have, once again, that this is one of our brand new builds. And it's a new sort of design for me. I like the outer awning. It's almost like a tavern sort of vibe. And then if we head inside here, you'll notice that we have some extra little pots that are kind of just on an awning right here. And I think it's a nice little vibe, little added detail that we have as we head inside. And this is not done yet, but we have a spiral staircase and a whole ton of storage. And then it keeps on coming up and coming up like that. I'm not done with it yet, though, so we're not going to take a full look at everything, but this is a good build that we have right here, and I'm excited to fully put it into fruition. Alright, you guys don't get military discounts? That sounds insane to me. Now, as we head over back in this direction, we have plenty of more work to be done, and the most recent progress that we've gotten done in our version of the kingdom lies over here. I do want to bring our attention very quickly to a miniature campsite that we have over here. Now, whenever someone happens to donate on our live streams, I usually end up making them something in the world. And this campsite that we have right here is dedicated to the Fox King 6980. And as we've been talking about earlier, I'm going to be making Jordan a campsite here soon. And we'll have to incorporate this area of the land into the rest of the kingdom. And I'm very excited about it. But we have our miniature little campsite area over here, and I'm very happy that we have it. Along with, I do want to bring our attention over to this area where we have a bridge that leads across the river to another part of the kingdom too. Guys, we have done so much over the holiday break. I've gotten so much work done. It's actually crazy. Like, none of this existed beforehand. Oh man, that's the end of stream playlist too. Okay, I want to find the song that I've been really vibing with recently. Actually, I'm okay with this song. I like this one too. Ooh, a statue? Okay. A statue sounds fun. It sounds hard. But I'm down for a challenge. That sounds fun. Well, Mari, since no one else is saying it, thank you for your service. Actually, yeah, before I get into the segment, for me, one thing that I realized, like, just crazily, and for me, you know, I live a much more, I live a safe life. You know, I'm an elementary school teacher, right? So my job is, the stress is making sure that I teach the kids the best, right? Like, that's much different than putting your life on the line and training and dedicating yourself to the country and sacrificing in the ways that you guys do. Like, it's very different. And I know people, based on my educational circles and that sort of thing, and I'm sure it's not surprising for you guys, that are super, and I understand this too, that are super like defund the military. You know, what value, you know, what value is, you know, violence and, you know, that sort of thing. I know those people, but those people don't understand what it's actually like to live in the world, because not everyone is a good person. Like, or not everyone is going, and not the right way to say it, not everyone is going to act in a way that is going to be beneficial for other people. Like, people just happen to act in self-serving interest, and not all of those help other people. Sometimes they work against other people and that sort of thing. And it is scary when you're in like an actual scary situation. Like, for me, you guys know I was robbed, and like the police ended up actually helping me after I ended up fighting two guys. But if they hadn't helped me, at the end of the day, like, I was still beaten up from the fight. Like, I was still like in scraps and that sort of thing. And so I thought, in a real way, I was like, wow, like I'm so happy to have this protection. And that extends in such a greater way to people that are in the military and are doing service. Like, people that have such a high quality of life, which is what we all so many of us happen to have. Like, if you're watching my stream, like, you have it pretty good. Like, I like to think like that's true. You know, we're able to spend our time but watching and hanging out via Minecraft and via live stream on YouTube. Like, we have we still have it pretty good, but there's so much sacrifice that is needed from so many people in order to make that happen. And sacrifice is not easy. You know, anyone knows that. You know, you could just think about something you've had to sacrifice in your life, and it's like, yeah, well, that by definition, it takes a lot. It takes something from you. And I don't think that, you know, especially for you, if people aren't saying thank you for your service, Mari, please know that you're doing something that a lot of people don't even have the brawn to do, the courage to do. And so thank you for doing that. Same thing for you, Qatar. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing my part as much as I can. Part of that, as well as, you know, even talking about and explaining to my kids as much as I can, different kind of gray area things when it comes down to that, because, you know, we want our kids to be thinkers at the end of the day, or at least I do. I want our kids to, you know, think deeply and be able to be problem solvers and, you know, that sort of thing. And so, giving them a one-size-fits-all when life is so multifaceted and complex is never going to be helpful. Like, you know, yes, military and no military, yes, violence or no violence, you know, protection and defense is, you know, something that is so difficult to convey to someone at a younger age. And so I try to do my best to explain that. I understand that you may say, you know, a lot of the kids will be like, why don't we just not have war? Why don't we just not do this? And there's more to the story than that. And I do try to explain that. And I think that, you know, military service in a way that teaching is one of those things that is just undervalued. Yeah, exactly, Qatar. Yeah, there's no better service than, serving for yourself, for your country, for your family, for your loved ones, for people that don't even know. And when you don't know, like, especially nowadays in a world, I think that is it's so easy to disregard kind of everything. Like, it's so easy to disregard everything because you have the things that you're fed on social media and through the news and all these different things, and you forget about the people that are doing all of these things in order so that you can have that sort of lifestyle and be able to not even think about these things that are so scary, our actual survival and that sort of thing. Hey, Guitar, thank you. That humbles me, man. I mean, I've been doing this for 3 years, and I've gone back and forth when it comes to like the money related things. And I would love to be a full-time Minecraft YouTuber. But after doing this for such a long time, like there's no way, I flip-flop back and forth. Sometimes I'm like, I should do this thing to get more views. And then at the end of the day, I will look back on myself and I'm like, I package it and I just do this thing in a way because at the end of the day, this is one of the things that's most important to me. I love the craft of doing it. And one thing, I wouldn't be the person that I am if I hadn't met all of you guys. Like, I'm proud of it. Like, I tell my parents, I'm like, I hang out with all of these people around the world, and they are people that have so much going on in their lives and are people of such diverse backgrounds, and we get to have such full conversations. It's something special. Okay, this song is about the things you love. It's good to know. Okay, I'm gonna record it back on once again. Ooh, Qatar, I've heard that quote a lot. It is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. I think about that oftentimes, man. When I wake up early and I go to the gym and I'm working out and going hard and that sort of thing, I'm like, I know I have I'm not gonna be the person that sleeps in and, is soft as a sponge. Like, I want to dedicate myself. And a lot of it, I do a lot of it as much as I can with hanging out with you guys. Ooh, also violence brings more violence. To be a man is only to be kind. I try to live that way. I really do. I teach that way too. Okay, quick recording segment back on. I'm gonna start this song again. I love this song. It's so good. Such a good vibe. Now, this bridge is, I think, one of the best that I've ever made in my years of terraforming and building sort of bridges and tunnels and pathways in Minecraft. It's so good looking. As you can see, it interconnects with the rest of the monorail that we have right here and seamlessly works its way up to the top, where you can see we have a tunnel design which is going on over to Mild Maddie's base, which is going to be the person that we visit the next. I have to do that again. That was a bad segment. I have to do that again. It's for the world tour. Now, this bridge that we have right here is one of my favorite terraforming projects that I've ever done in this game. As you can see, the stone seamlessly works its way up the pathway and really works its way, interconnects into the arch that we have on the monorail right here. This actually leads up to a tunnel, which leads to Mild Maddie's base and eventually Pug's base as well. Although both of these things are not finished as well, you can see that we have tons and tons of blocks that we've been getting from digging out this tunnel over time. A lot of this has actually happened off camera, and you can see that we do meet our end at the wall, and it does actually extend to the left in order to get to Pug Space, although I do have a bit more conversation with them before I finish off the project, because I want to make sure that they are okay with actually what happens to their areas of the world. However, as you can see, we have gotten tons and tons of work done so far here in our version of the world, or our realm, and it is time to go and visit some of the other YouTubers on the server and see some of the communal builds and community builds that we've made over the last 6 months too. So I do think that we're going to take our Elytra Antan. So I do think that we're going to take our rockets in hand and fly on over to Mild Maddie's base. Okay, boom. All right. So recording number 1 for that. We are not recording right now. Okay, recording number 1 for that. It stopped recording too. That took us 1 hour and 7 minutes. This is definitely going to be a very full world tour. And Marnie, as always, it is good to see you, girl. Okay, but I do have to check back up on the chat a little bit. Along with, I am going to take a quick bathroom break. And then we are going to continue the tour here together. Guys, thank you. Thank you, honestly. It's been like a week or so, maybe a bit more since I've been streaming. And I was kind of nervous. I definitely was kind of nervous at the beginning of it, but now here we are, and we are showing off everything that we've been doing so far, and I love all of the progress that we've been doing. A lot off camera over the last couple days, so I'm excited, or I'm happy to be able to show that to you guys in real time. But I will say, it is now time to check out some builders that are even more incredible than I am. And if you guys have any questions that you would like for me to answer and include in the video, definitely consider asking them, and I'd love to respond to them, and I'll be back in just a jiffy. Well, we are back for round 2 of stream. And Jordan, it is so good to see you, my man. I hope that you're doing well. Happy holidays. I know that I've been pretty absent from the Discord and from DMing and all that sort of stuff over the holidays. However, it is good to see you. For me, one thing that I'm definitely starting to or trying to work on as much as I can is to find a way of being consistent, being able to balance my love of video making and live streaming and communicating with you guys on Discord, doing all of the different things. It's actually way harder than I'd like to admit, especially when I'm doing full-time things. And even when I have this time off, like I'm still on vacation right now, I just love making videos and I love playing Minecraft, and sometimes I can deep dive into that sphere and into that zone. But you can see, yeah, Jordan, you'd probably be one of the best people to recognize that. As you can see, we have multiple more builds and we have pathways and things galore. And in tonight's stream, we're doing a bit of a world tour. We're going and taking a look at not only everything in my base, but we're also taking a look at everything in hopefully everybody else's base too. We're gonna have to see how much time it takes, but this is going to be a bit of a live stream and live video recording at the same time. But anyway, man, it's good to see you. Randall, welcome back to stream. And recording back on. That's my cue. So that editor Slip has an easier life. Now, quickly, as we make our way over to Mild Maddie's base, I did want to take a quick detour because we have been hard at work making a path over next to our sniffer pasture, where we have Lil Spoon and we have Big Spoon right over here, and 2 pitcher pods, and actually some more things that we can pick up, some torch flower seeds for the first time in this world, as we have Lil Spoon right here, which is the name of Mari's cat, which is one of our Slipper members here. And man, I will say that they are quite big, but I love having them in the world. Hey, Guitar. Dude, it's been so fun seeing you, man. And once again, thank you for everything that you're doing. A, all of the support, and B, just everything that you do for keeping us safe, and just all the things, man. I love having you here. You are a wonderful energy always. So thank you for being you, and I can't wait to see you again, and I'm sending you the best love in the meantime. Yeah. Yeah, you guys, and we should all. I love hearing about y'all's experiences when it comes to service in the military. So I'm very happy to be the common thread here. Because I get to learn a lot, and I get to learn a lot about you guys. And kind of just share my experience of life too. So I love, like, our conversations are so good. They really are so good. I love spending time with you guys. Recording back on. Okay, let me change the song very quickly. However, you'll also notice that the path happens to continue along this way here a good amount, and you'll see that we have more cobblestone over in this area because I want this to be a pretty trodden down path, which makes its way over to the actual pug space that you can see over in the distance over here. Now we still have plenty of more work to do in this area, but it's a nice smooth path and a good infrastructure for what we have. And you'll see that it cuts across the jungle biome over here, and we'll take a look at Pug's Place in a little bit, but I do think that, as we were talking about, we're first going to fly on our wings, and we're going to take a look at Mild Maddie's base, which is a beautiful, huge city that's coming together with a spaceship over here. Oh, the song pops off right here. As we make our way onto Main Street, you'll see that we have a Happy Ghast floating around, but the scale and the texturing that you'll see for the entire city is really impeccable. You can see the atmosphere and the vibe starting to come together. You'll also see that we have an awesome little road leading into a bridge over in the distance, and then we can also see that we have tons of redstone lamps right here, and you'll also notice that we have some really cool palm trees over on the side. We also have this really cool looking kind of little apartment building that happens to have an item or a frame or a banner of the sheep, of a very cool looking sheep right here. And my favorite part about this build is that we actually happen to have the balconies with the stairs leading on up, and this really gives that city vibe that you're looking for when you're building in this sort of atmosphere. It's something that I haven't tried doing before, but I really want to at some point in time. It looks so cool in my personal opinion. Jordan, this world tour is crazy. I'm definitely not the best builder on the server. For me, this build that we have right here reminds me of when I was in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and they had some incredible looking buildings that were huge and kind of were on the corner of the city right here. I'm sure that doing this diagonal part of the build was really, really difficult to do. And then if we head inside, Maddie has spared no attention detail here. You can see that we have just mending villagers and efficiency villagers, an entire trading hall all put together with some incredible looking chandeliers with the dark stained glass, and then some shroom lights and a fence leading down to some copper lanterns, something I never would have thought about, and a beautiful looking library over here. And once again, look at all the villagers that are just right there ready for you to use at any point in time that you would like. Hey Mari, thank you. Thank you. I do spend a lot of time. But look at this. I mean, I can't build an interior for anything. Maddie's so good. Maddie is such a good builder. You'll also see behind me that we have another section of the villager trading hall with even more decoration and even more lanterns behind us. Look how cool this all looks together. And then as we pass around the bend, I think that we have even one more, and look at how the sun actually happens to fall between the windows with the shaders. This looks so impeccable. I love all of the pots with the exotic flowers lining everything, and man, I'm quite impressed, I will say. Maddie has been knocking it out of the park. Mari, how are things with my gym crush? They're kind of complacent. they're complacent right now. I've been traveling for the last week or so. I haven't seen her, and then she had her sister in town. Thank you for asking me about that. You're actually being the person that is like, you know, Slip, you should actually, you should follow through more. As the sun begins to set, you can see that we also have another incredible looking sky. English. As the sun begins to set, you can also see that we have another impeccable looking skyscraper right here, where we actually can fly on down over in this direction. And you'll notice that we have a custom pool deck where we have tons of little figures with fish heads kind of just lounging on the pool on our poolside sofas and couches. And then we have a wonderful looking pool with our flamingos right here. Apparently that looks on up to a spaceship right here. And man, the atmosphere that you can see in this build is just impeccable. However, we will... And I can't speak right now. However, we will head to sleep for the night. Oh yeah, Jordan, it's a trading hall too. Isn't that crazy? It's wild. I do think that one thing that Maddie is really good at is making sure that the interior of a build actually feels like how it would in real life. And you can see that with this build that we have right here on the pool side. And then I would be unsurprised if we can actually make our way into the interior here, where we have an actual bar with the brewing stands right here. And we have our bartender, which is serving us a good old beverage. And man, look at that. I will assure you, we're not going to go through every single floor, but every single floor of our build has an actual dedication and purpose to it. And this is beyond words. Even the carpet design with the gradients, everything fits into the environment and into the shading and the lighting. It all looks so good together. And I do aspire to be this good at building. Hopefully one day I have my own kind of mode and method of building, but being in a server that has players like this really does encourage you to play in a different way, and it also encourages you to become a much better builder, I would say too. However, we can also make our way over to the actual Pug's base very quickly too. You'll notice that as we turn around, he has a wonderful kind of Christmas theme going on top of his mountain. And then you'll also notice that we have tons and tons of beacons amongst the presents going on here. And so Pug is one of those players that you would actually think has access to the creative inventory. And this is all made from someone else. And it's so jolly and festive, but the real kind of magic to this build and to Pug's area lives below down here. You see, we can head down into this hole right here, where you'll notice that this entire cave, not only down below us, as you can hopefully see with the beacon, all the way down here. It's wild. Also, all the way up here, everything has been caved out by Pug. And we have XP farm after XP farm after XP farm after villager trading hall, all right here. Everything covered with glass. I will never ever be able to show you guys the scale of how big this all is right here. This is massive and you'd have to be in game in order to see it, but Pug has been up to so much here on the server and is a massive component of making everything that we do have happen on Lotus. So as you can see, it's wild stuff, and I wish I could show it better, but this is the best that I can do. And so I say let's head on over to the shopping district, and you can see a bit of what everyone has been up to together, although I haven't built there yet, and we still have a whole ton more building to do as well. As you guys can see, I mean, Pug's place it's absolutely crazy. It's wild. I am realizing I didn't get a replay mod cinematic of this, so I'm going to fly on over here quickly so I can. Hey, Jordan, don't sweat about it at all, man. I appreciate spending some time with you guys and kind of just catching up, and as we've kind of been talking about, this is also going to be a part of the video, or an upcoming video, a world tour that we have of everything going on so far on the server. Okay, recording on. You will notice as we continue to fly over here that we have our extension of the monorail. It goes for blocks and blocks and blocks. And then Pug has also gotten around to making this incredible looking and functional parkour spiral where you can go up and up and up and up and up and eventually get all the way past the clouds over to this incredible pond looking area with this stack of diamonds on top, and there is a reward for doing the entire parkour challenge, which I've done twice, and I would tell you what it is, but I would say why don't you go and take a look at one of my videos of this series. We've all been doing so much, and I'd love for you to see it happen in real time. But man, this is a whole ton of diamonds, and once again, Pug is one of those people that we think happens to have secret access to the creative inventory. But we'll continue along this way and we'll make our way to the shopping district. Thank you, Mari. Yeah, she is cute. She is cute. We have a lot in common. It does happen. It's up to me. It really does come down to me at the end of the day. I'm sure that if I pulled the trigger, something would probably happen from it. Along with, we've got Joel in the game too. Although I promise you, he is about to get very mad at me. Alright, recording on. Eventually, our monorail continues along down here, and then slowly but surely, you can see that our shopping district is going to come to life. I think that we'll stop on over by the monorail. Joel is asking me if I'm streaming. And the answer is maybe. So our first place on the list is the Town Hall, which was made by Gribbly Games. And the idea behind this build is that whenever we have our monthly server meetings, we can all meet in here in game. And instead of just all meeting on a Discord call, we can actually head into this build and spend some time in here together online, which of course is just going to be the catalyst for a whole ton of fun whenever we happen to have a stream day, an extra excuse for everyone to get online and hang out with each other. You can see that we have a sign here that says event planning, and then another one that says the front desk stairs, along with the break room over here. And you can see that we have a pillager that is at guard right over here. And then I do believe that the break room, I could be wrong, I think we have another build over here. I can't tell. We have another build up top somewhere. Let me try to find it. And I can never find it. Man, it looks like we even have a complaint. Man, it even looks like we have a complaint spin. And we also have an agenda and a to-do board, which I did not know about, where we have a nether roof better nether roof. And then apparently we also have a Lotus of the member month, which I would love to be number 1 at some point. I know that Gribbly ended up making the build, so hopefully we'll have to get on his good side. Ooh, Jordan, that sounds fun, man. That is a great title, like actually great title. Okay, well, I give up, but there's a whole ton of good things in this town hall, and definitely... Okay, I give up, but there's definitely a whole ton of good things in this town hall, so I do think that we will continue on off to the right and make our way over to Joel Lamb's Mall. There's creepers over there. Have to be careful out here. And I do think that I am going to decide to do this video without cinematics. Just because there's so much to show here. We have so much on the server. It would take me forever to get the video out. Do we know if she plays video games? I do not. Imagine if I become the next Beans and Apples. If you guys know who Beans and Apples is. I mean, if you don't, Beans and Apples are a couple that they live in a van and they travel across the country, and then they build things based on what they see and what they're inspired on. And they're great. They're awesome. They're good. They're friends. Light friends, not huge friends, but I know we're friendly. We're friendly. They're awesome people. Yeah, Beans and Apples. Behind me, you can see that we kind of have like a Las Vegas almost inspired sort of mall. And Joel's idea behind doing all of this is that it's really easy with a lot of Minecraft servers to have all of these shops that are spread throughout the district, but it's actually more efficient to have a whole ton of shops within one big build right here, which is the shopping mall. And so I do want to actually do something with this at some point in time. And so I want to build, I think, an armor or a pottery sherd shop. And so we're getting to do that slowly but surely on the server. You can see that we have a really wonderful sort of interior with all of the garden beds right here, very exquisite. And then I do know that another server member named Ecom Bokum made the floor here, which is very vintage kind of 70s vibe with the glazed terracotta and with the mushroom stems along with the normal terracotta that we have right here. But as we continue to make our way inside, you can see that although it's starting to become a bit more run down with the spider webs, apparently, it just has not been used enough. I do believe we have all these vacant spots where you can make a different shop, and so we're gonna have to purchase one of these from Joel, if not for free, and we're gonna totally kind of revamp the area and make it into a wonderful pottery shop that people can come to, and so I'm very excited about doing it. However, I do not think that anyone else has actually made a shop in here, which is a total bummer, I would say. So I'm excited to be the first one to actually set ground in this mall. But I do think that we'll continue along this way, where the next shop that we're going to reach and see, as you can notice, is... But I do think that we're going to continue along this way, where as you can see, we have a whole pillager patrol, and then we also have the blob. Now, this may have to be a bit of a run and gun sort of tour right here as the patrol goes around, but you can see that we have tons of custom trucks in the area, and the idea behind the blob here is that we have all of the blocks that you could ever need, kind of just like a Home Depot department store. You can see that we have an outer area right here with more tractors and storage and that sort of thing. And then if we actually make our way down here through the garage, you can see that Mild Maddie and Draconis have really been at it with an incredible looking interior. It's very factory light with the end rods that we have and the iron trap doors, and then you can see that we can kind of get anything that you want when it comes to any dyed or colored sort of item. We have our green concrete, and then we also have our concrete right there and our dye, and we also have colored glass in all of those, and it's 2 floors of just wonderful, beautiful things. Along with, you can see that we have a bulk orders slot that we have right here, and we also just have a whole ton of our mini blocks just to add that extra ambiance, and Maddie is really good about that. Along with, we have Morg, who apparently made a huge purchase here, and his payment is in that chest. And so we have our pillagers right here. I think that we're going to skedaddle away, and we'll make our way over to the wool farm that we have over here, which comes from Shadow the Anxious, which has all of the different colors of wool, except for I think that I'm getting kind of cornered, I would say, by all the pillagers. So I do think that we're gonna head along over in this direction across this path, and we'll make our way over to Fozy and Draconis' shops over here. I do want to mention that the lanterns that we have here, oh, we have our, he's attacking me. He's attacking me. Okay, down he goes. I do want to mention that the lanterns that we have here are anvils with a lantern on top, and then we have two nether fortress or nether brick fences along with a black stone wall and then a cauldron. And as you take a step back here, it's really unique. Really do like the vibe of it. Something I've never really seen before. I love it. But right here, you can see that we have Fozzy's Honey Shop, where it's kind of like a honeycomb, as you can see, and we can head on inside and we have another wonderful looking interior right here, and tons of different cut copper and honey and kind of 1.20 blocks all over in this area. As you can see, it's actually kind of like a tavern, and so we have seating, and I hope that there would be food over in this area. It's really good looking, and it's a great addition. I have been using it for my candles and for waxing down the copper that I would like to have more of in the game, but once again, we still have 6 months ahead of us. But over behind us, we also have Draconis's flower shop, which is pretty much where all of my diamonds this entire season have been spent. It is by far one of my favorite builds in the game, and I am kind of envious of the block palette. You can see that we have the granite and the weathered coppered stairs, and then the mud and the spruce going up to the polished or the granite, and even more of the waxed copper stairs and some bricks here too. We have some bushes kind of overlaying everything, and then we have even more copper and some mud. And I don't even know what this block is that we have right here. And then just so much goodness going on right here with the diorite and the calcite. Just everything blends together, and we even have some white concrete powder too. So just an incredible block palette, you could say. And we can step inside here, and you can see that it is an entire interior that is dedicated to only selling flowers. We have pretty much every single flower in the game, and even apparently seeds for breeding sniffers too. Although we happen to be fine with that. Man, look at how it looks with the sun coming down with everything. It is a stunning build, both inside and out, and once again, I would love to aspire to be the level of builder in order to be able to do that thing, but once again, we have the flower shop right here. Hey, Jordan, do not sweat about it whatsoever, my man. We have so many things that we're covering over here. Oh my goodness, yeah, such a beautiful build. I'm very impressed by it. However, I do think that we're going to wait for the next day in order to talk about the next build that we have over here. And man, I did not realize how much time it was going to take in order to kind of show off everyone's builds on the server. Now, as you can see over behind us, we also kind of have like a tugboat sort of looking build. And I think that Chespy ended up making this build. I love how it looks. We have the warped crimson trapdoors and even mangrove and the bamboo trapdoors, all these different colors, along with even cherry trapdoors too. And look at all the different kind of accents and just kind of design elements. You can see that we have our pond right here, and then you can step on inside here. And I actually don't even know what this happens to sell. Maybe all of the nautical, oh, even frog light. We have tons of frog light down here. All of the different sorts that you would like, and you can see the underground hull of the ship, and everything looks so cool out here. Making our way over to a mangrove sort of swamp, a custom swamp area that I think also was made by Chespy, where you can see that over behind here, we actually happen to have a wood shop, and we have our custom, I forget what these guys are called, the swamp plant. I'm sorry, that's such a bad way to say it. I forgot what these guys are called. And then we have our swamp sort of like a dock area leading up here over to the wood shop. And one thing that I still have not learned how to do as a Minecraft builder is actually learn how to make these sorts of signs just like that. But I like it. We have the wood shop in here, and we can head inside, and it's very condensed and congested. I think the door is right there, actually. But you can get any wood that you would want in the game, for the most part, for I think 2 diamonds per stack. We also happen to have a pop-up prisoner. We also happen to have I can't say that word. Oh, it's too much alliteration. We also happen to have a pop-up. We also happen to have a pop-up Prismarine shop right here, where you can head into these barrels and you can get any of the Prismarine items that you would need. You'll notice as we make our way up here that we have a We Break Bedrock sign, which is made from Inca builds. As we walk up here, you'll notice that we have a We Break Bedrock sign, which is made from Inca raids. And then on the side, we'll have our bookshelf or bookshop over here. And then we also have another funky looking build over here, which I actually have never experienced. I know, Jordan. Jordan, being on an SMP, playing with other people just makes you want to be so much better at building. And look at that, we have the town hall behind us. Yeah, it's crazy. You can see also how much progress people get done. It's so fun to play with other people online, I would say. Well, Jordan, when it comes to the girl that we're talking about, I mean, I see her all of the time. I happen to see her at 5 a.m. and we're both working out. And we have talked a couple of times at that time, but, you know, most people, and myself included, like, we kind of like having our own workout and just getting our own things done when it comes down to it, I would say. So I don't want to push that too much. Okay, but recording on. Now, as you can see, this build has a really looking... Now, as you can see, this... Wow, as soon as I start recording. Now, as you can see, this build has a really wonderful looking interior or exterior... Now, as you can see, this build has a really looking... Now, as you can see, this world has a really... And we might be running out of our talking juices. Now, as you can see, this build has a really wonderful looking exterior. You can see that we have our... I think we made our match. It makes sense. I've been on Eastern Coast time, and it's almost midnight that time. And so I'm going to have to continue this world tour later on. But we still have so much more to go. Man, I'm sorry, guys. I can see that I'm running out of speaking juices. I have traveled across the country today, and I've been up since very early, and I think that it's time for me to maybe play some Minecraft without talking the entire time. I hope you guys understand. I'm giving you every last bit of energy that I can. And it's always good spending time with you guys. If I could, my brain wants me to do more. I think my body wants me to stop talking, though. So anyway, so many beautiful things in this world, and I'm excited for you guys to see the world tour. And also, actually, most importantly, guys, on Thursday, today is Monday. On Thursday, we have our movie, the Minecraft movie of the first 6 months that we have done here. Every episode that we have compiled together here on Lotus. That is coming out on Thursday, and I'm so proud of it. I make a lot of these clips, a lot of these episodes, so that I can compile them together into a movie. And the movies are not only really helpful for me for discoverability and for getting viewership, but also for, I really do mean it, for making some extra money and that sort of thing. So on Thursday, please, if you're watching this on Thursday, consider please leaving that video on in the background, just so that you can kind of get the whole story together of everything that we've done so far. And we still have 2 episodes worth of content that I've been able to kind of work on when I was home on the holidays, that I am going to be editing up over the next couple of days. Hopefully some more live streams as well, but at the bare minimum, if we don't get to it, please do consider leaving that video on, that movie on in the background. Mari, Qatar, Jordan. It's always such a good time. And I will see you guys very, very soon. I'm sure. Who knows? Maybe even a stream tomorrow. I am on vacation. I just feel like I'm in vacation mode. We'll have to see what happens, but again, thank you for spending some time with me, and we will spend some more time together here on Lotus very, very soon. I love you all. And thank you for being here. And thank you for being you and doing everything that you do that happens to make you you. Oh, perfect timing, Mari. Good night, good night, good night. All the love, y'all. And until the next slip stream.